Hello, it is a great day. Once again, why? Because great day, we have a great God who will do great things in and through our lives by the power of the Holy Spirit. And guess what? 59 days before Christmas! Ganun ng kabilis, no? Countdown continues, it's 59 days. And on the 59th day before Christmas, we gather again around the shepherd to hear his voice. And the gospel now is taken from the gospel according to St. Matthew chapter 13. Now that day Jesus went out of the house and was sitting by the sea. And large crowds gathered to him, so he got into a boat and sat down, and the whole crowd was standing on the beach. And spoke many things to them in parables, saying, Behold, the sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seeds fell beside the road, and the birds came and ate them up. Others fell on the rocky places, where they did not have much soil, and immediately they sprung up, because they had no depth of soil. But when the sun had risen, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. Others fell among the thorns, and the thorns came up and choked them up. And others fell on the good soil and yielded a crop, some 100-fold, some 60, and some 30. Now he who has ears, let him hear. People of God, the gospel of the Lord, praise be to you, Lord. Now the setting is by the beach. So we don't see ourselves already surrounded by plants or green trees, but let's picture ourselves just like the people with whom, like the crowd, that was being referred by Matthew. So we're standing on the beach and we hear Jesus speaking to us this parable. And as we listen to this parable, we say, alam ko na yan. So it's like acne, no? Alam ko na yan. Okay, and there's a tendency na kung alam ko na yan, sabi na natin, wala na, we close our ears. But Christ said is, let him, he who was pierced, let him hear. So we continue to listen to Christ, even though this parable has been shared over and over and over again. But we continue to listen to the teaching of the Holy Spirit. Actually, it's the Holy Spirit who will teach us new things. So we see here, as we have heard, is the parable of the sower. One fell by the roadside, the rocky places, and then the one with thorns, and the other one with good soil. Now, in line with what Father Roberto was sharing last Sunday, let's focus on verse 2. And others fell on the good soil and yielded a crop, some 100-fold, some 60, and some 30. What is now our desire? Do we desire to yield the crop? That's one. Do we desire to yield the crop that's 100-fold? Do we desire to yield the crop that's just 60 or 30? So the question is, do we have that desire to bear fruits? That's the first question that we ask. Or we just want to, okay lang, whether I bear good fruit or not, wala lang. But today we are challenged to again desire to bear fruit. But that's not the end. Okay? How much do we desire? How much fruit do we desire? Desire 100-fold, desire 60, or desire 30? Something to ask ourselves. At this point in our lives, ano na ba yung fruits ng fruits natin? Have I borne fruits? If I bear the fruits, is it already 100-fold, or 60, or 30? Like what I would always tell my students no, in class, huwag nyo lang i-desire na makapasa. Okay? But desire for the higher grades. No? Desire for excellence. Desire for 100. Okay? Some students will just uh, be comfortable na basta makapasa. No? Actually, that was my attitude when I was in college. No? When I was in UP, talaga, basta makapasa lang, makatres lang, okay na yun. No? Okay, kasi sobrang hirap ng academics, no? Akad sa UP. Basta na lang makapasa, makatres lang. No? Especially in engineering and architecture, nako, basta na lang makatres. It's okay. But that's not a good attitude. The attitude should be, I should desire for 100 food. Okay? But some could just reach 60, some could reach 30. But what is important is where we desire to bear fruit. Let's start, yes, sige, let's start. Target muna natin, maka 30 tayo for our fruits. Then 60 and then 100. And it will take effort on our part to do something about bearing fruit. We ask the Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, teach me how to bear much fruit. How can we ask the Holy Spirit questions like that or a prayer like that if in our hearts there's no such desire? Okay, let's be honest with ourselves. Am I desiring to bear fruit, or am I just contented with the way I am? Or if I'm bearing fruit, so be it. Whether it's 30 or 60 or 100 fruit, so be it. But the question is, what do we really desire to do? Let us pray. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. O Holy Spirit, continue to quicken in our hearts that desire to bear fruit, so that as we bear fruit, we bring glory to your name. For truly, Lord, we desire 100 fruit. It would be like uh, a wish or a prayer na parang ang hirap abutin. But Lord, you cause us to desire 100 fruit. Not just 30, not just 60, but 100-fold in our lives. Thank you, Father. This we pray in the Father's place. Okay, let's be excited, brothers and sisters, as we go for today. Who knows? It's time for us to really bear as we desire. And but desire is born in our hearts. How? By faith. God planted the desire already in us. So God bless us all. Bye bye.